Hello, my name is Ivy Prosper and welcome to your guide on Ghana. Today I am speaking with Kofi Anku, who is an entrepreneur and real estate developer making an impact here in Ghana. He's doing things that is giving the diaspora an opportunity to own a piece of Ghana. Kofi,
welcome.
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm so excited to finally be here at POKUASE Heights. I'm excited because this place, I'm just looking at the views around, and it's like nestled within like a hilly, mountainous area. I think that might be a Brie out there somewhere.
Brie's over here.
Oh, it's over here. Okay.
So this is like towards Kwewu.
Okay.
Yeah, gorgeous.
It's a beautiful view. Yeah.
In Sawam.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, what are you doing here today? Let's take a look at POKUASE Heights.
So, and when you talk about affordable housing, the question always is affordable to whom?
Right, because people complain that a lot of the real estate that's here, there's a lot of development, but it's not accessible to everyone.
Sure, and that's true everywhere in the world, really. And part of it has to do with financing. Are there mortgage structures? Can we assess your creditworthiness? This typically isn't the role of a developer, but because it's everything is kind of growing, it's something that we're thinking about. How do we make the houses more affordable? And there are a lot of tricks. One is just increasing the density. So like what you're looking at here, you've got 12 houses on an acre. So there's not a ton of space around the houses, but there's a lot of generosity of space within the home. And we find that, okay, that's a trade-off that people are interested in, particularly our diaspora buyers.
Yeah.
They're looking for efficiency, they're looking for quality, they're looking for symmetry. So oftentimes you go into a home and the windows are a bit crooked or something like that.
Yeah.
So we've said, okay, like let's really work on the execution of the build and give you a smaller footprint, not so much for the house, but for the land. Right, so then the services, the common services, the main road, price of those common services drop when you're increasing densities.
Okay. Now you mentioned credit. First, how much are these homes? And secondly, how can someone secure one of these homes? Do you have finance plans? Do you have to buy cash outright? Because that's a common thing in Ghana, buying a house cash outright. What are the options that people may have?
Sure. So we do work with mortgage banks in Ghana. There's Stanbic, we work with Republic Bank, we work with FNB out of South Africa. So those are typically the three banks. And they actually extend mortgages to folks in the diaspora and also folks in Ghana.
Good.
But this product, a lot of the buyers are in the US, UK. And for them, they can typically access credit cheaper than what the banks offer in Ghana.
Right.
So the country of Ghana actually borrows money at a higher interest rate than most Ghanaian professionals abroad do personally.
Okay. So that's a thing, because I know people talk about interest rates in Ghana being as high as like 25, 30%.
On the CD. So on the dollar, it might be 14.
Yeah.
Or 12 or 13. And even globally, interest rates are now ticking up, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
At some point, what we're looking to do is actually finance our development company so that we can offer a lot of people who are buying houses, they don't need a mortgage. What they need is maybe a 2 to 3 year payment plan. Right, so me as a developer, if I can find a way to finance my development company to offer that to the buyers, that would be ideal. Because now you're not saying, okay, well, you've got a mortgage provider who needs a margin, who's a third party and also needs to spend money to try and assess the due diligence in the land. I'm already holding the title risk. So I don't need to now incur additional costs to re-verify my title. So there are a lot of, in terms of the regulations. So I think having all of that in one offering would help people. Because if you're talking about a house that's $60,000 or $57,000, it's more like a car note than a mortgage for a
Right.
diaspora buyer.
Right. So the houses are considered to be quite affordable because that, yeah, like you said, there's people who buy $50,000 cars.
Sure.
And you can get a 2 or 3 bedroom house within the 57 to 60,000 range here at POKUASE Heights. So this is one of how many developments that you're working on? Like after this phase is all done, is there something else that you're doing? Because you said phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
There's a phase 4 that's already in the works.
Okay.
So
you just keep going.
It's demand driven.
Okay.
So as you know, with a product at this price point, my view as an entrepreneur is that the demand for this is hundreds of thousands, or at least tens of thousands of homes. Certainly in Accra, and eventually the plan is to actually expand to different countries on the continent.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
We're looking at Rwanda, we're looking at Senegal, a few other countries.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
With this development, one of the things that we're really excited about is we have a hospital. It's literally a 4-minute walk, right? So I think a lot of folks that are buying, some of the folks are looking for retirement, some are buying homes for their aging parents who are in the States but want to come back to Ghana. So the fact that you've got the hospital was actually founded by the former CEO of Kerbs. So they are well stocked, and we actually have a pretty cordial relationship. So that this is something that we're pretty excited about. We're also very close to the Achimota Exchange, which is one of the premier malls, and they've got gyms and game and ShopRite. And it's the same distance from the airport to POKUASE Heights as to Iman's Park. So it's about a 22 kilometer drive from the airport. So it feels a bit further out, but just with the rate of growth here, very soon this is going to feel like you're just almost in the middle of Accra.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of places that are growing now.
Absolutely.
You know, people feel like, and I want to say this because a lot of people who come to Ghana, the first thing is Accra, Accra, Accra. But there are other places that are definitely growing because Accra has become what it is over time.
Sure.
You know, and that'll be the case everywhere else. I'm seeing places like Prom that are also in growth, and parts of the central region, like everywhere has its opportunity. So I do definitely see this, especially since that interchange was completed to help move traffic around. It's going to definitely be something that we're going to see a lot of growth.
Absolutely. So that interchange is literally 3 kilometers from here. And it's a $70 million investment. So
it was a massive one. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see the values of these homes double just with the impact of that public infrastructure.
Yeah,
this is a 2-bedroom unit.
Okay.
But all the 2 bedrooms are expandable. So it's the same footprint for the house.
Okay.
So if somebody wants a 3-bed, we either just tack it on. So the first thing you'll notice is that it's a bit cooler in here.
Yes.
Than typically, because there's actually insulation in the walls.
Oh, because that's one thing I noticed. A lot of homes in Ghana, because of the concrete, it's so hot.
Yeah. So the blocks just pick up all of that heat gain.
Yeah.
And then radiate heat throughout the night when you're trying to sleep.
That's my house.
So what we've done with these is we've actually put in insulation in all the walls.
Brilliant.
And also in the ceiling.
Brilliant. That's good.
So in phase 2, we actually are using a UPVC roof. So typically in Ghana, the roofs are metal, which is the worst material you could use from a heat perspective. Like you can literally, you could burn yourself on a roof in Ghana if you're not careful in the middle of the day, and it just radiates heat into the house. And typically, there's no insulation in the ceiling. So we put insulation in the ceiling, and then we're also using a UPVC roof, which lasts longer than the metal roof. And provides insulation as well.
That's smart. Very smart. I like the size of this living area.
Yeah, so a generous living space. And then you've got some storage.
That's the storage closet, okay.
Little kitchen store.
And then this is the kitchen.
Yeah, the kitchen unit, and it opens up. And these are made locally in Ghana. Ash foam.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were doing cabinets. I know about other furniture, but I didn't realize they did cabinets.
Yeah, we were so happy to find them.
Wow.
I had looked at, I wasn't really interested in importing, but the prices that you can get out of Turkey and out of China, so again, people don't want to pay more.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, it's made in Ghana, you should pay more, it's very hard to make that argument.
Yeah.
So to find a local supplier that we could work with and design what we wanted for the space, and really happy with the quality. Right, so we've got a little bit of an outdoor cooking area where you can, prepare some grilled meats or something like that, or do your washing in the back. It's a place for the kids to run around a bit. So I think that's an important part of life.
I agree. You invite friends over, you have your lawn furniture, and just chill out and take in the sun. This sun.
Yeah.
So let's see the bedrooms.
Sure. So these are all LED lights. So if you remember the lights that we had growing up as kids, they were 90 watts. So these are about 3 watts.
3?
Yeah.
So when it gets to be nighttime, is it going to actually provide a lot of light?
Yeah, because they're LED.
Okay.
The wattage is more, it's the usage in terms of the efficiency.
Okay.
So it's almost, it's 30 times more efficient than it was when we were kids.
All right.
So that's one of the ways we're able to green the house.
Okay.
So we're actually putting in an application now for EDGE certification, so that these are certified green homes.
What other ways are you trying to green the property?
So we have a standard solar package, so that if
that's good, solar.
You can't rely on the grid of Ghana.
No.
And it's expensive and noisy and smelly to run a generator in the middle of the night. So if your kids need some illumination to do their homework, or if you're just trying to finish a meal, you've got a backup solar unit so you can see what you're doing.
Okay.
Charge your phone, keep the laptop on.
So the solar unit is a backup, it's not the primary source?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So all the homes are on the grid, but they have that functionality that they can
go solar.
On solar.
All right, that's good. Okay.
So we've got 2 bedrooms in here.
This is the
master. Right, so we've got an ensuite unit.
Yeah, washroom here.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then the second bedroom over here.
I like that there's 2 windows here to get the flow of air. Yeah, that's good.
So originally I put in louvers, just because I like that you can open 100% of the window. But what we found is that people just like that modern and a crisp look.
Yes.
Of the sliding glass.
Yeah.
I lost the vote. The market has spoken.
Yeah.
So
I prefer these 2.
I think with this type of living, that folks are almost watching out for their neighbors, right? So you can imagine if you're living here, if somebody was trying to pull out the stereo from your car,
people would
you've got 8 families that from their living room can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Right, that which is the opposite of certain types of designs where you just don't have eyes.
Right.
And your front door is visible. And people also behave better when they live in communities where people can hear what's going on.
It's true, because a lot of people's homes have like the big wall all around it, so you don't know what's happening. Somebody could be breaking in and you don't know because there's a big wall there.
Exactly.
Even when they have security, sometimes it still happens.
Yeah. The other thing that I didn't mention about phase 1 is that we're completely off the grid when it comes to water supply. So because we're actually in the hills, the groundwater is fantastic. Is it? Yeah. So if you're in Accra, oftentimes there's a lot of salt, a lot of iron in the water. Yeah. So you can't drink it, and even if you're trying to just to wash, it's very hard. So, there are 3 or 4 boreholes just in phase 1 and 2. Groundwater. We've got groundwater, and then we've got the overhead tanks. Okay. The overhead tanks will come here, and that will supply all the houses. So we're really happy with the quality that we're hitting, and it's a constant conversation on how we can improve the quality. And we've arrived at a place where, as a middle-income house, I'm happy to live here. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in the market selling a product that I couldn't endorse wholeheartedly And just from a performance standpoint,
Yeah.
in terms of the cooling, the energy efficiency, security features, I think we've really arrived at something that we can scale.
That's good. Talk about the leases, because there's people who don't know this about the leases in Ghana.
Sure. So in Ghana, the properties are typically leasehold. So you're leasing the property for 50 years, and then what we do here is there's a renewal. So we give you the first 40 years, and then there's a renewal for the next 25 years. And what that does is if you alienate the property freehold, we don't have the freehold interest in this property, but it's important to kind of think about it. It would be nice to have a freehold, but if you live in a community and everybody has freehold, it's very difficult to make sure people respect the covenants in the leases because it's not a lease, right? So if you don't want your neighbor to be converting his home into a pig farm,
okay,
then it's important for the head lessor to be able to assert rights in the community that, okay, look, these are the standards you agreed to, and also if you don't adhere to them, we'll not renew your lease.
Okay.
Right? So these are
some of the things. Yeah. That's good. So what kind of advice would you give someone in the diaspora who's looking into getting into these spaces? Because there's a lot of people talking about coming and possibly starting a real estate business. What are, 2 or 3 things that they should be aware of before they jump into it?
I would say that it's probably more difficult than it looks. And it's also more rewarding. So I think if you're motivated with impact, that there could be nothing that's more rewarding than your investment in Ghana. And a friend of mine who's an entrepreneur, is highly successful, he's got an institute in Ghana, and he said something at a commencement that has stuck with me for years. A gentleman named Yorn. He said, if you can do something that you like with people you love, that's the key.
I think I know who it was that said it. Here in Ghana. Yeah. Yes, I know who said it. Do what you like with people you love.
Yeah. That's not really work.
That's true. It's hard to get people you love when you're working. There's so many people who talk about they don't like this person they're working with, they don't like that person they're working with. Yeah. So when you get that, it's perfection. So Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching this episode of Your Guide on Ghana. If you are interested in purchasing any of these properties, you can get in touch. The information will be in the description box or on the screen right here so that you can get your own little place to live here in Ghana.